All right, guys, thank you for tuning into the Excelsior Club's YouTube channel. And today I want to bring to you guys, I want to introduce a new YouTube series we were planning to start, which is basically Subjects in a Minute. It's basically where we're trying to explain, tutor, and just convey information in short minutes, short time, so you don't have to spend too much time watching, too much time understanding the topic, so you can get to practicing and whatnot. So first on the list, we're starting with the subject mathematics, and our first topic is none other than the line. So what are our objectives for today? Our objectives are to explain coordinates, define the line, and explain and define each variable of the infamous formula y equals mx plus c. So first, before I go into, let's tackle our first objective. What is a coordinate? So in the world, as you may know it, each island, each sea, each location is generalized by degrees, whether it may be 75 degrees north or 65 degrees west. Those coordinates make up exact pinpoints on the world, and it's the same in math. But in math, our world, or the world in a sense, is normally known as graphs, or what's a 2D graph, which is known as the Cartesian plane. The Cartesian plane consists of the y-axis, which runs vertically, and the x-axis, which runs horizontally. Now, these graphs increased in the same directions that they run. So the x-axis increases by increments of 1, or it increases to the right, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And it's the same for the y. It increases as it runs up. It increases vertically. So 1, 2, 3, 4, for example. And just keep in mind that these graphs are not constrained to only positive numbers. Remember, they run vertically also in the negative direction. So you would also have the y-axis running from -1. This is your 0 point. So there's -1, -2, -3, for example, and your x-axis running also horizontally in the negative direction, which would be -1, -2, -3, and so on. So now let's put a point. For example, let's put a point right here. Now this point, let's identify where on this map, where on this plane is this point. Now, in math, points are defined by brackets. So where your first value stated is your x, and the second is your y. So now, let's look at this point. We have this point right here. Let's put it in red so you guys can see it a little bit better. We have this point right here, and with this point, we're going to use the same formula, the same notation for the coordinates, with the x values coming first and the y values coming second. Now we're looking at our graph, and the x value, which corresponds to this point, let's just draw a dotted line to the x line, the x-axis, and this corresponds to the number 2. So we know our first value is 2 for this point. Now our second point, let's draw a quick line that runs to the y-axis. We know that this corresponds to about 1. So we know the point for this coordinate, we know the coordinates for this point rather, is 2, 1. All right. So now we finished our first objective.